And we're back with another interview here on Tahoe Tonight. This one, Eddie Frank from the Tusker Trail organization. And interesting story as we were talking during the break. How did you found, how was this founded? It's a cool contest story, 4-month long bet in a way.
It started out as a bet back in 1976. I was sitting in a pub with some friends of mine in Santa Monica. And originally being from Africa, one thing we always wanted to do as kids was to drive across Africa on a big trans-African expedition. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting in this pub, and it came up in conversation. They said, "You'd never do that." And we bet $100, and the next thing I knew, I was on a trip across Africa with some people on the back of my truck.
Yeah, and I was asking you also during the break, did you start out as a travel agent or something like that? You said, no, I was the traveler, and then it sort of evolved from that. You wanted to get some people along with it, and then it evolved, and now you're doing all kinds of expeditions and trips.
That's
right?
correct. That's correct. I started out more as a lifestyle choice rather than a career choice, and it evolved into this as the adventure travel world became an industry. There were a lot of opportunities for guys like myself, early guides, to get in the business side of things.
And Tusker Trail, what are some of the main destinations with Tusker Trail?
Our main bread and butter is Kilimanjaro, which, as you know, is in East Africa.
Yep.
I just completed my 50th climb up Kilimanjaro this last January. We have 13 full-time guides, a lot of vehicles, a lot of equipment, and we run our own expeditions up Kilimanjaro. We're also we trek to base camp, Everest Base Camp.
Yeah.
We run our own horse expeditions in the western side of Mongolia, along the Chinese border.
Wow.
And also in Bhutan, where we have a trek going right now.
Wow, that takes a lot logistically, and I mean, this is perfect for somebody that wants to do this, but they just have no clue where to start. Have you ever done, like a major, say maybe like a corporate trip or something like that? What's the biggest group you can handle?
The biggest group we handle are typically on Kilimanjaro, and these are our big fundraising charity trips. And typically we'll get a group from a bank. Mm-hmm. We've worked with a lot of big banks and big foundations from Canada. Yeah. They'll bring 30, 35 people. Everybody will raise $10,000 or $20,000, and boom, you've got $500,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, for example.
Wow, very cool, very cool. Yeah. So let's talk about this contest you have coming up to promote your Facebook, and it's on Facebook. Give us the rundown.
The rundown, it started out very, very briefly. It started out, my wife, who's my partner, and I were doing a scouting trip in Iceland a few months ago, which is going to be our next new destination, incredible heli trekking in Iceland.
Nice.
Drop into a helicopter and off we go.
Yeah.
And we thought, where should we go next after Iceland? And she said, why don't we just go to our fans, our followers, our clients, and see where they want to go. So we started up this big Facebook contest where you can vote on where we should go out of 8 destinations.
Ah, cool. So, what's the process? Do you just commenting on the wall on your Facebook? How do you actually input your...
If you get onto the Tusker Trail Facebook page, there's a link to our contest.
Okay.
And if you win this contest, you get to win one of our treks to the 4 destinations I mentioned. You get to pick whether you want to go to Kilimanjaro, to base camp of Everest, Mongolia, or Bhutan.
Can you choose the new location?
You have to vote on one of the 8 new destinations we're going to scout. And we will choose based on where the winners say we ought to go.
Yeah.
So it's basically
and
everybody out there.
And what are some of those 8, real quick? We have what are 2 of them, maybe?
Patagonia, trekking down in the south part of Chile in Patagonia, all the way to dog sledding in Greenland.
All right. Thank you for coming in, Eddie.
Thank you very much.
Inspiring stuff. Check out Tusker Trail on Facebook. We'll be back with more Tahoe Tonight.